Well, I'm back. This is the Zwift Insider. It's Saturday morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. This is the first one of the 4 races that I'm going to do today on this one. It's 4 races in an hour. Each race starts up every 15 minutes. I did 2 races yesterday. I did a nice long bike ride Thursday, and I did a workout Wednesday leading up to this race. This is how I kind of judge myself, my progress over the races, over my course of a month. This is my new way of judging what I'm doing, my new way of understanding myself and my progress. You kind of always want to have a idea of where you're progressing to. I've never done this route per se. It's a hilly route reverse. It's 3.5 miles, don't get me wrong. And I thought to myself, I thought it was going to be the same 4 races from the week before, but now I know that they do change them up. So with that being said, this is going to be a race where I don't know the course. So when I don't know a course, especially on the first one, my goal is to try to win the first one. So as you can see, we're getting down to 5 seconds here, 5 seconds, 4. I'm revving it up, and I want to get out front as soon as possible. So as we take off, you can see that I'm in the pack. And the pack is a good pack to be in. Everybody's running a nice, strong push. And I decided to stay with the pack. Now, this is going to be essential in the rest of the races because one of the things I'm going to try to do is start staying with the pack longer and then maybe pushing at the end. But with this one, I decided that I was going to stay with the pack as long as I felt comfortable. And then I was going to try to attempt to pull away. So right now, I'm in the pack. I'm rolling with them. We're coming up on the start of the race. Right now, we're in the intro of the race. And as we cross under, we're in the race and we're going. It's 3.3 miles. I decided to go ahead and stay at close to 500 watts. That's my goal for this race, just to stay close to 500 watts. I figure if I can get myself maybe a 15-second lead in, if this thing says hilly in the name, I'm a big guy. Hills are not friends of mine. They don't roam my circles. They don't hang out with me. Hills, gravel, and sand, I don't think we get along. Fat guys, hill grabbers, and sand are mortal enemies. We don't like to hang out with each other. We don't like to deal with each other. And so when I went under the start of the race, I received a feather, which for me is great because if the hill becomes too much, I can hit the feather and give me a break on it. But the problem is, the feather is, I don't know if I'm gonna get another one. So on this incline, since I'm still with everyone and I want to keep the power up since my legs are fresh, I decided to hit the feather. And it gave me a good little time just to stay in it and to keep moving without losing too much. I didn't want to lose much on this because the lighter guys will catch me in no time. You see, there's somebody that's putting out 4.6. Everybody behind me is putting out 3. I'm at 490 watts and I'm still only putting out 2.7, 2.8. I had to cross 500 watts just to get to 3. So that's what I've always talked about, is that people go, well, you need to move up to C because it's time to upgrade. But no, because the thing is that when I look at my numbers from where I'm at and look at the C class numbers, for the most part, I'm way at the bottom of the C still. And it's because of the output that I'm putting out. Now, I weigh myself once a month. So Monday will be my official weigh of myself. The first and the last day of the month, each month, I weigh myself. Well, the first day, well, I have to roll up because I don't weigh myself the next day, but the first and the last days of the month is when I weigh myself. So as you see, I come over these little ramps, and this is where I start to pick up my length. I told you, it's not on just the downhill, it's the up and downhills. Which I know that when I get to more C races, these guys most of them have trainers, which kicking the power on them on the hills, which I can tell when I'm riding with a lot of C's, if there's a lot of smaller hills, but there's a whole bunch of flats, that I start to leave them because I think their trainers kick in. But you have to remember, with me, I have to keep my power, my tension on my bike set higher so I can consistently put out that power. So it's still no benefit for me. I think actually the guys with the trainers have a little bit more of an advantage because the trainer will ease up on them. For me, the only easing up is to slow down on my legs. How hard am I pushing? So I don't get the chance to just let the thing relax. So my relaxing comes in, it's on a downhill, and as I come around this hill, I'm wishing that I would have kept my feather, but I'm not so sure if I'm gonna get another feather. Now, as I come over that hill right now and I see that bridge, I start to realize where I'm at. I've done this race before, and I know that this race, from the looks of it, is going to end on that hill. That's what I'm thinking to myself. As long as I don't turn, I know this race is kind of going to end. That's what I'm coming to. That's the conclusion I'm coming to. So now I'm going, well, there is another loop coming up. Maybe they'll give me another feather. If they give me another feather on this thing, I am so happy. I come down the hill, and I'm only having a 5-second lead on the second guy, and he's rolling. I can see that he's trying to catch up. And on the flats is where I told you that I get my advantage. Because if I can maintain this 28, 29, I'm at 31 miles an hour right now, 4 minutes, 18 seconds, 4 minutes, 20 seconds in here. I know that if I can maintain this high rev, if you notice, the numbers are getting more plus. I receive another feather. I think I read at the beginning of the race that you receive 2 feathers. So I received the second feather, and I know where to hit this feather at, because I know that this incline is going to be up. I want to say 11 or 12, maybe even 13 on the end. So I know that feather is going to become very, very relevant soon. So what I try to do now is just continue to put the pace in, because I remember the last race from last week on the 4, I lost the race with the last 10 seconds left in the race, because it was an incline, and as I stated before, lighter guys have a way more advantage on me on the incline. The flats and the declines are mine, especially when you come off into a flat from decline. But with a decline, with hills, every small guy has a weight disparity that's unreal. I think this guy, or one of the guys I raced against, was 70 kilos, 77 kilos. And for me, I'm 178 kilos, so I'm a whole 100 extra kilos heavier than him. That's a lot of weight. And so I'm riding now this, first out of 38 people, which feels good because it's not just me, and I got 11-second lead in, and I look up and I see that I got a mile point 2 left. And I know this race, so I know if I can just maintain this 22 miles an hour, and I know this just a 1 or 2% incline, I can ride through this, and I know it's gonna come back down over. I've rode this strip of land a lot. You'll find that some of the courses you will ride a lot before if you wait to get to level 5, level 10 where you start racing, so you can build some endurance up. It's exciting to race early, maybe a small short one here and there. But I find that if I can build my endurance up for the next race, it's more of a challenge for me. I don't want to get blown out, which will happen, but I don't want to get to the point where I'm just blowing everybody away. So there's a balance in here. And for me, the next step with this now that I'm class D is to make sure I do longer races. My goal now is to start getting in more greater than 20-mile races. I'm comfortable at 15 miles an hour, 15-mile races. I feel real confident in the races, so now it's time to get more and more out of my comfort zone. So I'm gonna start doing next Sunday, I think I'm doing greater than 20-mile race, depends. If I do the Zwift Insider, it depends. And maybe next Thursday, I may try to do a longer race in the evening. I'll see what they have. But with this one, I'm coming up on the end. I know, because of them 2 bikes up there, them 2 people on the bikes, I know that the incline is at. I know where this race is going to end, and I know that I need to get an even better lead, because that hill is a beast. It is. This hill that's coming up is a beast. So what I'm trying to do now, if you see my wattage and my power, I'm maintaining at 400, but I know that at the end of this race, there's a hell of a climb. And you see, I have not touched that feather. I don't think I'm gonna touch that feather until the thing goes 6, because I'm trying to maintain as much speed as I can. And as you can see, the incline is starting to start. It's at 1%, 2%, it's slow decline. This last part of this race is gonna be nothing but an incline. And you can see where the bike wheel of the second guy comes down, that's where it becomes maddening. You're putting out all kinds of power. So I'm trying to wait. And as I see that I hit 3. I think for me, I hit it just a little too early. I should have waited just a little bit longer and just wadded it out a little bit harder. But I decided just to put as much power as I can into it. And you see the second guy, he's at 17 seconds away, maybe 800 feet. And I'm just trying to get this thing done, but I'm trying to put as many watts out as I can. And my legs are tired, and I don't know if it's from the race I did the day before, but my legs are a little bit more tired than they normally seem like they should be. And you see I'm down to 8 miles an hour, and now my lead is for to start slipping. It's 400 feet to the end, and this guy who's behind me is coming. And all I can hear is that Jaws song in the background, that dun-dun, because I see his seconds falling. This is what I told you. Smaller guys have a chance of being, and if you notice, my watt is just out through the roof because this guy's down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Any longer, he's gonna beat me, and wham, I crossed the line 2 seconds before him. 2 seconds. That was it. I had, and with less than 400 feet left, I had 17 seconds. That's how bad hills are for a heavier guy. With that, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna go to the next race. I'll see you there.